right, we're coming at you with a fun catch up episode today. We got a lot to catch up on. I just got back from vacation, and we also have a huge announcement that is launching today, Monday, as of when this episode is going live. And we're launching a huge scholarship. Basically, we're giving away 6 months of free coaching to someone. All you have to do is apply. We're going to drop the link below. Just takes 5 minutes to fill out, and no strings attached. Like, we're gonna give away 6 months of free coaching, which is freaking huge. All of the last scholarship people that have won, like, are been life changing. And so this is the biggest one we're doing yet with 6 months. And then on top of that, we're giving away $15,000 in partial scholarships to people who apply. If you've been on the edge, if you've been thinking about doing something, like, there's no better opportunity than this. Seriously, like, we do this maybe once a year. And like I said, this is the biggest one that we've ever done yet. So super stoked to be able to do this, honored to be able to offer it to people. And yeah, go apply. We're going to drop the link to apply in the comments or in the show notes. And applications go through Sunday, May 24th. So everyone go apply, share it with your friends, share it with anyone. And we look forward to seeing your applications.
Yeah, normally I would say, like, even if you're just kind of sort of thinking about maybe hiring someone to help you out with this, I would say go for it. But even with this, as big as it is, I would just say, even if you haven't even thought about it, get on a call and just like find out more about it.
Yeah,
Totally
literally, if you
worth
have
it.
any health goals at all that you're working towards, it's like that. This is it.
This is it. Do it.
Yeah, so super stoked about that. But yeah, applications only open this week. Make sure to go apply, and we will be reaching out to you. Then, like, anyone who applies, I'll be reaching out as far as the winners that next week, and so just be on the lookout. And yeah, super stoked about that. But anyway, how are you doing? What's going on? You said you lost your voice today, and I know what's going on, but I want to hear the the story behind it.
Yeah, well, I haven't officially lost. I mean, it's a little weak. That's all. You may not be able to tell, but yeah. So we had our annual field day today, which is always a lot of fun. In the past, we've kept score. We no longer keep score, so that's like a whole nother episode of me venting on why we don't keep score.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of fun. We won a lot of events, and I mean, reality is, who knows who won or lost? Because again, no one kept score, but
No, come
we
on.
had a good
You know
time.
who won? Tell us who won.
I I I really I really don't. I mean, we put ourselves in a great position to win, but there's like 13 events or something. You get points for every place, and I mean, we finished in the top a lot of events, so it's um, you know, very good chance we won. But again, I don't know officially, so I can't say anything. But kids are always like, "Who won? Who won?" I'm like, "I don't know. We don't keep scoring anymore. Like, I drive that. Like, let's push for it. We got to keep scoring good, and we know for sure we'd have a clear cut winner." But yeah, and it's funny because most of the people are there, they're not so much in a hey, let's win this thing. They're in a either, "Oh, we're just gonna have fun, we don't care anything," or we want to make sure Mr. Brown doesn't win. It's never it's either one or the other, right? It's depending on the teacher's personality, but it's always a good time. I mean, the kids have a blast, and I was thinking about it today. Sometimes I get a little bit of flack or grief just because I'm all about winning, and I want to make sure that I put the kids in a great position to win. I mean, that's my ultimate goal. I mean, it's obviously not the end of the world if we didn't win, but I just want to do my best to put the kids where they can belong, where they can be successful. I was thinking about as I was watching my kids today, and there's a couple things that just really stand out, that why I think like field day is so great, and not just why you should have field day, but also why I think it's important to at least like have a goal of, hey, we're going to go out here and we're going to compete, we're going to do best. We want to try to win this thing, as opposed to just, hey, just go out there and be silly, and whatever happens happens. So one is teamwork. I mean, that's kind of like obvious, but when you look at it, you have this like group, the class, like a bunch of kids you have completely different personalities. You have kids that get along well during the year, some that don't get along well during the year. You have kids that have different strengths, weaknesses, academic wise, sports wise, all this kind of stuff. And they come together. And that's one thing that year after year has been so fun to watch, is on that one day, they're like, they're gelled together. They're completely rooting for each other. They're encouraging each other. They're high fiving each other. They're just having a blast, and they're doing everything that they're asked to do, and they're competing as hard as they can, and they're supporting and bringing each other up. And I think that's just the coolest thing to see, because I think a lot of them don't have that. I mean, there's obviously some kids that are in sports, and so they get that every single day. But there's a lot of kids that aren't athletic at all. They aren't in any kind of sports, and they don't really have that experience with being on a team, and I think it's so important. And the other thing is the confidence. You know, in any classroom, you have these kids that are just like high flyers. You know, they perform well on everything. They're always getting A's. You know, they work extremely hard, but to a lot of the other kids, it looks like they just show up and they just automatically succeed. There's all you know, then you have a big spectrum, and I've noticed lately, last few years, there's a lot larger gap between the kids that are just, crushing everything academically and the kids that are struggling a little bit, or it's a little more of a challenge. And it's really cool to see I try to do my best to, like, pull out all of, their strengths throughout the year and really, support them and encourage them throughout everything. But, the emphasis in education now is so much on reading and math, and if they don't do really well in that, then some of the kids are just it's like, "Where do I win every day?" And every time I show up, and it's just a struggle for me. And so, like, on field day, you have kids that have all these strengths that all of a sudden they get to show off. A lot of these kids, like, don't win that often in the different circumstances of everyday, school, and so it's so cool to see them, shine on a day like this or do well, and it's almost like you can see it in their eyes, and you see it, they're like and I'm like, "Oh, man, that was awesome, way to go," and you can just tell that they're, like, beaming with, like, confidence and pride and excitement that, "Hey, man, like, today I was, like, super successful," and I remember one year there was this kid that she just struggled the entire year and just everything. It was from academics, behavior. She just had a rough year. And we had won, and she was sitting there, and we were just kind of relaxing after a long day. And I could tell she was thinking about something. I was like, "What's going on?" And she said, "You know what? I don't think I've ever won anything before." And she kind of smiled, and she rarely smiled the entire year. And she kind of smiled, I was like, "This was really cool. I had a lot of fun today." And that was just like I was like, "Yes, that's exactly why." Like, I'll go out and I wanna put them in a position to try to be as successful, sorry, as possible. Win or lose, whatever. I mean, they had fun, they did really well, and I think they'll take these experiences with them and throughout their life, so we had a good time.
I love that, and like you said, yeah, it's like it's important to push to win, not because, like, if you lose or you don't win, then it's like you're a failure, but it's just like you need something to work towards. Like you just need a goal, like something to push towards. And I think in general, that's why sports are so important. Like I am so grateful that my parents made me do a sport. Like I didn't want to growing up, but they're like, you're always doing a sport no matter what. And like it teaches you so many of those things, especially like the teamwork comments. Like there's so many different things that go into it. Just work ethic, consistency, like things like that. It's so important. I feel like that's just like a glimpse into that, like doing a sport or some sort of organized activity like that can be.
Yeah, and and the wins and losses, obviously you want to win every single time, but the losses are important too. And it's kind of like our health journey. Like, I mean, you lose, okay, guess what? You got to show up the next day. Doesn't matter what happened the day before or the game before, whatever. We're showing up, you're gonna give your best effort. That's the same kind of thing, health journey. There's gonna be a lot of days where you didn't work out or you had a bad meal or you whatever the deal was that was not part of the plan. Come up the next day, hey, I'm showing up to do the best I can today.
Yeah. There's so much growth and lessons and importance in failure. And not that even like failures, I don't even think that's the right word in this context. It is frustrating that they all the like the participation trophy culture and just that they took away the points and everything. Just I feel like it strips away a lot of, the core things that you get from competing and trying to win.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. All right. So tell us what's going on with you. What's exciting in Mackenzie's life?
Got back from vacation or staycation, I should
Yeah.
say.
Vacation. Tell us some of the highlights.
It was awesome. I didn't talk to, like, a single person for, like, 5 days. I realized that I love being alone. I love my alone time, and I feel like I just haven't had a lot of that, or if I do, it's just, like, I'm working or I'm, like, doing something. Like, just not time where I'm just sitting and chilling and sitting with my thoughts. So, yeah, that's what I did basically the whole 5 days, was just out in nature, walking out in nature, a lot of time at the beach. I was majority of my time was just all day at the beach out in the sunshine. I went to a local springs here in Florida that's like 2 hours away from me, so that was a really beautiful day just out paddleboarding on the water. Saw a bunch of, like, monkeys and otters and manatees and turtles and everything. So that was really cool. So yeah, just a lot of nature, a lot of time to sit and reflect and read and through a whole book. So it was quite nice.
You read a whole book. What books you read?
I was going through my series Akatar. It's just like a romance, like adventure series. So I finished that whole series and then I started a new one.
Nice. That's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah, so I'm putting in some work. It was very nice to completely unplug and recharge because, like everyone knows, like I went to Japan. Like I do travel a lot, but the whole time I'm working, so I haven't really had a stretch. I think it's been a couple years now where I just completely unplugged from everything, and that's been a lot of the main issue with some of the health issues I'm dealing with, and just the constant stress is just I'm on all the time, always pressure, like always people relying on me, and so it's just nice just to like put my phone away, not check anything, and just like I'm good, everything is fine.
Hey, you know what I saw the other day? I thought this was really cool. I don't even know who this lady is or whatever, but it was just a random post that popped up. And she said, every year that I get older, when I have my birthday, I put a dot in between the two numbers. So, I'm 49. So this is version 4.9 of me.
Mm,
And she says, "Well, it's kinda like iPhone, every year, there may not be a whole lot of change. You may not recognize some of the changes, but I'm working behind the scenes. Then every 5 years, man, that's a big deal, right? It all, kinda compounds together, and so this is kinda like part of your growth, right? Because like you said, you've talked about how you've gone on vacation before, and you'll go on vacations, but you always bring that work with you, and this was kinda like, "Hey, I wanna get out there and just and be able to, like, put it down and not pick it up and be okay with it,
mhm,
right?
100%. Yeah, it's embarrassing. I don't know if embarrassing is the right word, but the fact that doing that is probably the hardest thing I've had to go through, at least within the last decade, like, maybe the hardest thing I've ever had to do ever, which is it's just crazy to sa like, it's gotten that bad, like, I'm having all these issues because of that, and so it's just weird that I have to work so hard to undo those patterns, and it was really tough, especially the first couple days, like, I still just felt super stressed and anxious. I didn't check anything, but I was just like, "I me too, like, I need to know what's going on," or, like, I'm just thinking about all the messages that are stacking up, so, like, it's really challenging, which is so dumb to say. Yeah, it's a process. That's what growth looks like for me in this season. It's a lot of pulling back and undoing a lot of the stuff that I've done wrong or just like pushed too hard, especially when it comes to work and stress and all that stuff. Yeah, this is growth for me now.
Well, and I mean, you care so deeply about it, and this is your passion, so it's gonna be hard to just be able to just put it and just not even touch it, not even look at it or, find and so, like, is there anything that throughout, at least especially those first couple days, that either you would tell yourself or you remind yourself or anything that you did just to be able to kinda lessen that anxiety?
That's a good question. I think one was just completely shutting off like all my apps. Like I didn't like I'd use my app blocker, so I didn't really have access to anything, which helps. And then even my text messages, like I shut them off for most of the day, and then I'd come on because I did have to check a couple things just from personal stuff. So that helped. But I think the biggest thing, truthfully, is it's because it had gotten so bad that like I knew I needed it that badly. And if I went and checked and like went on to work stuff and went against me committing to take this time off, I knew that it was just going to set me back further. And it would ruin the whole point of me taking vacation. Then I have to go take another vacation because I didn't have a vacation on my vacation. Like it made it easy in the sense like it got really, really bad to where like, yo, I need this or like shit, like everything's gonna fall apart. So I think that made it a little easier for me to just be like, all right, like I need to do this. It doesn't matter how I feel or whatever, stress or anxiety, it'll go away. Oh, yeah.
Bet I put a lot of money on this, but I bet being in nature, like, you talked about going to the beach, talked about going to the springs, talked about going, I think paddleboarding, whatever you did spend a lot of time in nature. I'm willing to bet that was a huge, you contribute a lot of that slowing down and calming down that anxiety to being out there in nature.
Oh, 1000%. Yeah, it was so peaceful and restorative being out there. And then obviously, like you don't want to check your phone. You don't think about anything else when you're out there. When you're sitting at the beach or going paddleboarding down the springs and all that, like you don't think about anything else. So yeah, I just feel like I felt my mind felt so clear, felt so connected to God. It was just yeah, it was amazing. Nature really
That's
is
awesome.
healing.
It really is. Well, Well, you deserved it, and you definitely needed it, right?
Yeah. I did hear a study too, or like I think it was I'm pretty sure it was my tour guide actually in Japan that was telling us, like, if you go, I think it's 3 days completely unplugged just out in nature, like, that, like, resets your nervous system or, like, there's some, like, crazy like, it, like, resets everything. I'm like, "Yo, I need to do that, actually." That's the next step is, like, completely just, like, going out hiking or like, something for 3 days straight with, like, no contact with anyone else or anything else.
Oh, that would be we definitely have to do a whole podcast on that if you did that.
Right?
Uh,
I'll work up to
that would
that.
be really interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would be curious to see, like, what your sleep was like, just, like, everything, like, how many steps is everything just involved you just being out there with totally 100% unplugging.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like that is what I need though to, like, magically cure myself. In other
Alright.
news, my creamy broke again.
Creamy! Oh my god by the way, I am amazed still that so many people, I will mention it, and they're like, "What is this? I've never heard of this thing before." So, I don't know, they must not do a very good job of promoting their product, or maybe they don't care because it breaks a lot. I don't know, maybe that
Yeah, for people that don't know, it's this magical blender device. Me and my clients always joke around. It's really just creamy magic. It's we don't know how it works. It just magically blends anything into protein ice cream, essentially.
It does, yeah, it is. I mean, and the ice cream is amazing, like, it's just as good as if you went to the ice cream shop downtown type of thing. I mean, it is amazing, it's so good. You can have a bowl of ice cream for, like 60 grams of protein in it, and it
Mhm.
tastes amazing.
Yeah. Have you been trying any recipes lately? Or I guess I know you've gotten pretty elaborate with some of yours.
I did at first, and then I got stuck with, like, the super simple basic I always mess it up, the chocolate coconut cream, chocolate chip, whatever fudge, whatever it's called, which is the most amazing protein powder from Legion. And I just mix that up with a little bit of almond milk and water and some pudding, some chocolate pudding, like sugar-free. Phenomenal, and that's
Mhm.
all I do. That's all I add, and it is so good. It's just like with a lot of things. I mean, I like it, I love it, I'm just like, I'm going for it. I'll just pretty much have that every single time.
No, I feel that. Yeah, like it's so simple and it's so good. I was just doing Fairlife milk and protein powder, and then sometimes I'll put cocoa powder in there too. But yeah, I'm telling you, the Legion protein, like it's just they have so many good flavors too. I think they came out with a bunch of new ones, which I can't have whey, which I'm a little bit bummed about. But it's like they look phenomenal. I think there's like an orange creamsicle and something. So you'll have to try those and report back.
The well, they have a maple donut one, which I tried, and it's pretty good. It was really good with it was actually really good with my coffee. I like my protein coffee. That was a really good mix, and then I made it into a creamy, and it was really good creamy as well. So that's definitely one to try.
Yeah. Anyone that does try Legion, use my code Mackenzie S, and I'll save you some money too and supports us. But yeah, they're the best. But I haven't gotten a new creamy because mine was like I think a few weeks out of warranty. So I'm done with creamies for now. So it's been tragic.
My god. Yeah, you're really going out there now. You're taking spending some time away from the creamy. This is definitely a new version of Mackenzie.
Yeah, I'm just yeah, that was like my third one I've gone through though. That's the thing. Is like creamies are awesome, but they break a lot and they do catch on fire. So beware.
Yeah, yeah, that was a scary story, but
But it's worth it though. It's so good.
it is worth it. You will get all your money's worth. Probably part of it is you use it so much. If you used it, like, once a month, it probably would last forever, but,
Yeah.
so, yeah, we still recommend getting them and trying them because it's phenomenal.
Just get the warranty, have a fire extinguisher nearby, and you're good to go.
Yeah, there you go, there you go.
I know we were talking the other day too about what we listen to at the gym. I feel like that would just be funny to talk about in here, just because I think everyone has a very different take. There's some people that go no music, some people do podcasts, which I think is psychotic. Um, but tell the people what you listen to at the gym typically.
So I'm not very good for this because I'm that weird guy that doesn't have like AirPods in their ear. Like I'm one of the few people. So I don't really listen to anything other than whatever the Great Davis YMCA of East Tennessee is jamming to. Uh, and it's kind of funny because it depends really who's there and what kind of music it is. And sometimes there's this one guy that works there and he's hilarious because he is very opinionated on the music. And if it's like some, like light rock or something like that, he's like, "This is ridiculous." And so if it, I'm looking, I'm like, "Hey, let's make the change." He's like, "I'm on it." And he goes in there. So when he's there, it's usually like 70s, 80s, kind of like rock, type of thing. But I will tell you, so on the way to the gym, a lot of times I'll jam music in my car, and I like a lot of Eh I like a lot of things, like, closer to, like, Metallica-ish type of thing. Sometimes rap, just I have a little playlist. It has kind of the mix is mostly, like, kinda like, pump up rap. I call it pump up rap. Like, pump up rap and, like, pump up kinda rock. That just gets me, like, in the zone of just, there's one song, and I don't even know, my daughter it's funny. I do get some good playlists from my daughter's dance stuff. One year, Baylor did this, big routine, and it was, "Welcome to the War" was the name of the song, and I loved it, and, I've never heard it on the radio ever. It was just part of their dance routine, and it is a good pump up song, so I'll put that one in there, and a good combo is like that one and, some Metallica with it or whatever. But, and also we've talked about this, I'm also the psycho who quite enjoyed the time where we didn't play music for like a week in the gym, and it was like dead silence, and I was like, "This is, I kinda enjoy this. I kinda enjoy this." It's really engaged, really focused on everything I was doing 'cause there's nothing else to distract me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in the past, in the near past, I would have said that's also psychotic, is going in the gym without headphones. But there is definitely something very meditative about that. Like, it's just you with your thoughts. I feel like it's a very good time. Oftentimes, like, sometimes I will do that, like, if I'm just in an interesting headspace or I'm just, like, thoughts are flowing or creativity's flowing, and obviously movement prompts that. So it's like it is a good place to like think and reflect. I think sometimes it can almost like take too much away from my workout because like I'm so deep in thought or like thinking about other stuff. But it is very meditative. So I kind of understand that now. Only thing that gets me with that is I would not want to be subjected to whatever the gym is playing. Like I'd rather have silence if I'm not wearing headphones.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, there's sometimes, but a lot of times I'm just like, I start getting my own zone. I don't even really pay attention to the music. You're,
Sure.
you're like you said, you're kind of in your own thoughts. The other thing too, part of the reason why I like it is because by default I'm very shy. I'm very introverted. I keep to myself, and so even if there's a room full of people, there's times where I'll just sit there by myself, and so. n- I feel like if I had a bunch of music, it really put me in the zone of like really just focusing on working out. And so it causes me, or it gives me an opportunity to be more outgoing and go up to the people that, hey, talk to them because I don't have anything going on. And so there's no excuse to go to, or someone comes and talks to me. It's easier. I also feel like I'm more approachable if I don't have earbuds in it. So people come talk to me, whether they know me or they, a lot of times they'll know I'm a trainer. So they'll come ask me questions, things like that. But yeah, and so I've been trying to be more purposeful about when I see people that I know, or just go and talking to them, and so I think it helps not have music on as well.
Oh, 100%. That is a good point because usually people see like, if you have your headphones on, like, hood on, hat on, like, you're like, "Okay, don't talk to this guy, he's going through some shit." But, yeah, like, if you don't have anything, it's a lot easier to go up and start a conversation.
Oh, that would be a good episode too, is, observation on how do we know people in the gym are going through some things right now? That would definitely be one. They got their hoodie on, they got the hood over their
Yep.
earphones and, like, no eye contact, so
Yeah.
that could be an interesting episode.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely give off that energy, like, many people have told me that know me, they're like, "Yo, you look absolutely terrifying in the gym." Because I have resting bitch face. I'll be honest. Like I look so mean, and then in the gym I'm just like super focused. Like I'm listening to like I listen to some absolutely violent shit in the gym most of the time. Sometimes really worship music, but most of the time it's just like heavy, violent dubstep. Just like just crazy. And so like that's blaring in my head, and I'm just like locked in, just like so focused, and people are like, "Oh, okay."
Well, when you listen to that kind of music, it's kinda hard, I think, to have a facial expression, that would match, like, the, like, sunshine, lollipops, it's just totally different, like, you're in this one, you're like, "Yeah," it's like, for me, like, I know this isn't, like, hardcore, but, like, Rage Against the Machine, like, for me, would be, like, hardcore, like, I can't be just, like, smiling and jumping around, I'm like, "Oh, yeah," like, into it, and, like, I'm ready to run through a wall when I'm listening to that kinda stuff, so I mean, I get it. Your facial expression is gonna kind of match, kind of like the tone of your music too, I think.
Yeah. I also though think for me, just at the gym, like my face is gonna look the same no matter like I'm just focused. Like I'm just locked in. Like I really am in my own world. Like I'm just so locked in and focused. So like it doesn't matter what's playing, like I'm just straight faced.
Yeah, you know, that's funny, the RBF, is a lot of people will refer to it. I'd never even heard of that till a few years ago, and someone said, I thought that I don't know why, I just think it's the funniest thing, and it's funny because everyone that you would think has that, like, they know, they're like, "Oh, I know I have, you know, RBF." Like, there's like there's not a surprise, like, "Oh, 100%, I know I do it."
Yeah. I can't help it. But people have told me, so I'm aware of it now. No, but it's funny too, even in like when I'm working at coffee shops, I will put on dubstep as well and just like I'm just locked in, just working, focused. Like if people knew what was going on in my headphones, they would be baffled.
Well, I remember I didn't watch I remember the trailer, but there was some movie where there was, like, some guy who ended up, like, being able to read the minds of, like, every woman around him, and I think that'd be interesting to be able to walk by and just be able to hear, like, what and be able to, like, first of all, think about, "Okay, what type of music do I think this person listened to?" And then actually hear it, I bet you a lot of times you'd be, like, way off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's some very interesting mixes going on and just stuff you would not
That would
expect.
That would actually be an interesting one of those, you know, silly, posts or something where you walk around and you're like, "Excuse me, can I hear what kind of music's on?" You know,
Yeah,
just, I think that'd be entertaining.
that would be that's actually some really good content right there.
Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. It's really just to have a little fun, to get to know us a little bit better, right? We're just kinda sharing some of the catching up with some of the things that's been going on in our life, and, you know, again, we are super excited about this scholarship coming up, so, whether you've been thinking about it, whether or not, whether, you know, your heart beats, if it does, then I would go ahead and, you know, make a note to get on this and see what it's all about, so, because it's gonna be a lot of fun, and, seriously, though, you can get a lot, benefit from it. It could change your life. So, we're stoked about it, we're excited about it, and, we're here to, make it biggest impact in as many lives as possible.
Yeah, everyone go apply for the scholarship. It will change your life. I'm very confident that if you put in the work, if you know, show up and go through that process, like it will change your life like it has for all of our clients. So I'm super stoked about that. So go apply, drop in the link. That's live through this Sunday. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss next week's episode and share it with a friend that you think would benefit. We'll catch you guys on the next one.